6. I got him. I got him. I'm being tracked. I'm being tracked. Maverick, I'm hit. I'm hit, Maverick. Oh. Yeah, that'll do it. Well, hi everyone and welcome back. Sometimes as a welder, projects are planned ahead of time, and sometimes things just happen to come your way. This thing was trash picked. This is rusted off. This is rusted off. This looks like the bolts just came loose. Yeah, a little bit of work ahead of me, but it does make a great toy for the kids. So this project is going to be kind of a restoration? We'll call it a rebuild. So let's get started. First thing I'll do is take this thing apart and see what we got. First things first, this thing's got 2 swivel points. One in the front and then one back there somewhere. So I'm going to try and get those off. They're pretty rusty. Ha! No problem. Looking closer at this thing, that's rusted out. That's not pretty. Yeah, this doesn't look terrible. That's not good. That's not a strong connection, and everybody knows how rough kids are. The plane itself doesn't look too bad. The frame looks pretty good. And of course I gotta attach a whole wing. There. I guess those are like stabilizer bars. Those rusted off. Bolts are rounded out, so I'll probably weld the wings right to the frame and then doing something about the elevators. So after looking into this a little further, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to completely rebuild this base. And what we're going to use today is the YesWelder YWM211P, and we're going to mix things up a little bit. So I'm actually going to be using gasless flux cord wire, 035 E71. Now the reason why I chose flux core is because A, I don't need to use a bottle, but also 2, flux core is really good for metal that is dirty or has any contaminants on it. With flux core, there's a little bit more leeway to it, so you can get away with a little bit more dirt and dust and stuff. However, when using flux core, there's a lot of smoke that it gives off, which is why I have this fan right here pushing air out my window. So anytime you're welding, make sure you have good ventilation in an enclosed area, but especially with flux core or stick welding too. First things first, I gotta make my 3 welds here. Stand them upright, square them up, level everything up like I normally do. Weld it out, do it again. Same thing on the other side. But came out all right. Next thing you do is do these uprights here so we can attach the plane to it, and then I gotta fix the wings. So now I got to make those brackets that plane sits on. And instead of taking a lot of time and forming them out of some plate, I'm actually just going to take them and reuse them. This one looks to be in pretty good shape. This one not so much. But we'll sand it down. We'll sand it down, make it look all pretty. I'll probably run a bead to reinforce the corners here, and then put it on the pipe. Now, remember that thing had a little bead going up. I'm gonna put this one like that. So I gotta brush all that up. Next thing I gotta do, I gotta put these brackets on. Now I gotta put these on. These fit quite nicely. So I'll just brush that coating off, run a bead around it to hold it on there, and the frame will be done. So as you can see, this part of the wing is pretty much gone. So I'm going to measure from center to center how big this radius is. Maybe I might be able to bend a piece of 1-inch pipe to get it to match that. And the rest of this looks okay, so I might just keep it and sand it down. I figured it out. Is take this mess, cut this off, and weld those on. And then I should be able to attach everything to the frame of the plane, make sure everything's all welded up and cleaned up, sand it down, paint it, and the kids can play. If this paint's bad, that's because I'm a welder, not a painter. That's heavy. Alright. This all looks pretty good. I don't see much. We'll get rid of that. I don't see much to worry about here. So I think I'm just going to take the seats off and all the plastics. Oh, except for that. I'm probably going to hammer that in and fix that because the rest looks fine. But I'll sand this all down, paint this too while I'm at it. If you don't look too closely, it's not too bad. Now, obviously some spots that need to be replaced, but for right now, my kids are young, I can sand everything down so they don't cut themselves or catch their clothes. They should be alright. The only thing I do need to fix is that, because it's a split, and then I'm just going to cut that off and not even worry about the stabilizers because my daughter likes to rock things to death. So that crack is patched up. Like I said, that is not a permanent fix. That will eventually propagate, get worse over time. But for now, for my kids, this will be perfectly fine for now. The technique that I use there is like a stitch. So you saw the trend on TikTok and YouTube and all that stuff, what they call cold welding. It's not really welding, it's a series of tic tacs in a very short blip of time. And then there's some video editing in there and all that stuff. It's not a real thing. So that's not what I was doing here. What I'm doing is I'm running up past the crack. I'm starting up past the crack. And then I'm running down pretty quickly and then stopping back the bottom. So that little crack there, I'm running probably about 1/4 inch wide. And just going up, stopping, and then going to the edge of that weld, and then doing it again, going to the edge of the weld, and doing it again. It's a quick fix for something like this, especially with a wire that is much, much too powerful for this thin tubing. So that's just a little trick that you guys can use. But I'm going to sand the rest of this thing up and paint it, and then show you what it looks like all together. Well, this is it. All nice and complete. It's not perfect, but it'll definitely do for a kid's toy. I was able to get all this rust out, get all this rust. This rust is gone. I got a couple tacks down here. I got a couple that I have to finish up on the paint yet. That's it for this project. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment with any questions, and stay tuned for the next one because we get to play with some aluminum.